Here's something that sounds insane. The more of your own company you give away, the richer you get. That's not a typo, and it's not a trick. By the end of this, you're going to see it the way the people inside this world do, like it's the most obvious thing on earth. But to get there, we start with the one idea everything else is built on. So imagine you and a friend start a company. Right now, it's just the two of you and a big idea. Here's the one thing to understand before anything else. A company is something people can own pieces of. Those pieces are called shares. If your company has 1,000 shares and you hold all of them, you own the whole thing. That's the starting point for this entire story. The catch is that ideas don't grow on belief alone. To turn yours into something real, you need money, and you don't have enough of it. So you do what founders do. You sell off small pieces of your company in exchange for cash. Someone gives you money, and in return, they get some shares. They now own a piece of what you're building. That trade is called an investment. It buys you speed. It pays for people and tools to build years faster than you ever could alone. And it happens again and again as your company grows up. Let's walk through it. In the very beginning, no one knows if your company will work. So the first people to take a chance are usually the ones who believe in you personally: family, friends, your landlord, or people who back early ideas for a living. This first bit of money is called a seed round, like the seed you plant before anything grows. Say someone hands you money and you give them 15% of the company in return. Two things just happened. First, that cash now belongs to the company, to be spent on building the product, not to you personally. Second, you've put a price tag on your company. If 15% costs a certain amount, you can multiply that out to see what 100% is worth. That number is your company's valuation, which is just a fancy word for what the whole thing is currently judged to be worth. Now fast forward and a year goes by. People use your product and like it. Now you need a real team, and the seed money has run out. Time for a much larger round. These bigger rounds get named in order. The first is Series A, then Series B, then C, and so on, like chapters in a book. For large amounts of money, you talk to two kinds of investors: angels, usually individuals who have built successful companies themselves. They give you their own money in hopes for a return. Venture capitalists, or VCs, are different. They don't invest their own money. They manage a giant pool of other people's money and hunt for young companies that could become huge. Here's a thing that surprises people. These investors don't care about your detailed plan. Plans change constantly. What they're betting on is you and your team. Are you sharp? Is the idea genuinely different? Are you thinking big? They'll talk to you many times before deciding, and they'll ask hard questions to see how you handle them. And the all-nighter you pulled perfecting slide 47? Yeah, they're not reading slide 47. When an investor is ready to give you their money, then comes the big negotiation, the price. Both sides tug in opposite directions. It's the only argument where you swear your company is worth more, they swear it's worth less, and you both keep a straight face. You want your company valued high. The higher the number, the smaller the slice you have to give away. For the same amount of money, the investor wants it valued low, so less money buys a bigger slice. The number you agree on determines exactly how much of the company they walk away owning. The money they put in, divided by the company's agreed value, equals their ownership percentage. That's the whole formula. Often you'll have more than one offer, but the biggest check isn't always the best one. An investor who knows everyone in your industry and can open real doors may be worth more than one who simply offers more cash. That kind of help has a nickname: smart money, which makes the other kind dumb money. But they just won't say that to your face. Now here's what confuses almost everyone, so go slow. Every time new investors come in, the company creates brand new shares for them to buy. It can do this the same way a country can print more money, by making more of it. That's how the total number of shares goes up. And no, you cannot try this with your own bank account. Now picture a pizza. Say you owned half of an 8-slice pizza, so 4 slices. The company prints more slices, turning it into a 12-slice pizza, and gives new slices to investors. You still hold your same 4 slices, you didn't lose any, but 4 out of 12 is a smaller share of the whole pizza than 4 out of 8 was. That shrinking of your percentage is called dilution. Your piece got smaller, but the pizza got much bigger, and a smaller slice of a giant pizza beats a big slice of a tiny one. This repeats with every round. More money in, more shares created. Everyone's percentage shrinks a little, but the company's total value gets bigger. Fast forward a few years and several rounds. Your product is everywhere. Customers love it, and you're finally making a profit. Now comes the moment everyone's been waiting for, the exit. An exit is simply when investors finally get to sell their shares and collect their reward. Whoever took the risk earliest, when your company was still a long shot, stands to gain the most. There are 2 common ways this happens. One way to exit is when a bigger company buys yours. The investors usually cash out right away. You and your team often don't, because the buyer wants you to stick around and keep things running, so your payout is handed to you slowly, over a few years, to keep you motivated. That gradual release is called vesting. Leave too early and you forfeit the rest. The other way is to sell shares to the general public on the stock market. This is called an IPO, short for initial public offering. It sounds complicated, but it's really just one more round of raising money, with one difference. This time, the buyers aren't a handful of investors. They're anyone in the world. From that day on, your shares trade freely. They go up and down in price, and anyone can buy or sell them. Now remember the thing that sounded insane at the start? That the more of your company you give away, the richer you get. Look at what just happened to you. Round after round, you handed out pieces, seed, Series A, B, C, and each time your slice got smaller. By the end, you owned just a fraction of the company you founded. In startup world, here's why this logic works. 100% of nothing is still nothing. That's the founder who refused to share a single piece, who kept it all and built something worth 0. You did the opposite. You gave most of yours away, and that fraction you're left with is 15%. If the company is now worth $100 million, your 15% is worth 15 million. 15 million. Money you'd never have touched if you'd held on to all of nothing. The world's richest founders became rich because they followed this same strategy. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Jensen Huang all started by owning huge stakes in the companies they built. After decades of hiring employees, issuing shares, and raising capital, they now own a fraction of what they started with. Yet even after all that dilution, they are still the world's richest people. So now back to our IPO. Once you IPO on paper, you now are worth a fortune. You could sell everything and walk away, but most founders don't, because the thing they set out to build is finally working. Investors call this moment the exit, but for people who started the company, it usually feels more like the beginning.